You guys must have thought I quit YouTube. Not yet. Just been sick for a couple days. So today we're going to look at some alarming statistics from MIT. I mean, some people might find it alarming. Uh, this stuff is going to be pretty much expected globally for the next little bit, something that we all have to adjust to. But MIT studies are saying that AI can already replace 11.7% of the US workforce. I personally believe that's an undershot. I personally believe AI can likely emulate a lot of the work for the economy, US workforce, labor force, well above and beyond 11.7%. That's just because I'm building AI agents on the ground floor. If you don't recognize me yet, my name is Alex. I run an AI agency in Toronto called Peak Demand Incorporated. We help small, medium enterprise businesses as well as municipalities and transit systems adopt AI. Everyone from restaurants, medical facilities, manufacturers, like everyone's doing it, guys. So for me to see MIT studies coming out and saying, "Hey, we have a firm number now on what looks to be like the replacement rate for AI in jobs," to me, this is the starting point because the technology is advancing so quickly. Let me get this cursor out of my face. So, if you don't like AI, you probably shouldn't watch this channel. Or you can watch it and dislike, leave some colorful comments. We're going to be rounding up all the comments at the end of the year and seeing what you guys really think about myself, the work we do here, as well as AI in general. But if you're seriously starting to pay attention to this stuff and you think, hey, I need to start making some serious decisions in my life because the world is changing, stick around. Let's find out.
Identify which. Welcome back. Researchers at MIT just out with a new study about AI and productivity and just how many jobs could be at risk. Mackenzie Sagalis joins us with that story. Market pays attention to these MIT studies on AI.
Yeah, that last one on 95% of enterprise adoptions of AI not working out. Now MIT.
So just on that note quickly, sorry for the freeze frame there, Mackenzie. So enterprise teams are trying to internally deploy AI automations and they're failing 95% of the time, guys. A 95% failure rate is abysmal. Yet the world still seems to be pushing billions of dollars and trillions of dollars into this technology. There's a reason for that. Most people don't know how to automate or engineer AI workflows. Even developers, even the people you think would be able to be good at this stuff. It takes a different type of person for this stuff. You sort of have to have the knack for development, technical, digital environments, but you also have to be a very, very good problem solver and think for yourself. And when you see 95% of teams are failing, odds are they don't have someone on that team with the wherewithal or the, I would even say sometimes foresight to implement things properly. It's a different. This is extremely hard. Like in Canada, for example, adoption is the slowest amongst developing nations. Point blank. The reason for that is Canadians are extremely sensitive human beings. We need 101% perfect deployments for them to even be considered. How do I know this? Because I've been doing this for 3 years, strictly AI, 15 in digital, and Canadians are the hardest to convince of this technology. They hear one thing wrong with an AI voice agent or get one incorrect response for ChatGPT, they literally abandon AI. So our team not only builds custom automations, but we minimize and iron out hallucinations to the point where, hey, these things are quite literally perfect. And that's why we're still in business. So, it's funny. It's just so funny to see 95% of AI projects are failing at an enterprise level, yet at the same time, the replacement rate for jobs versus AI is climbing. Very fascinating, guys. It's shining a light on how inept human beings are with this technology.
Has built agent clones of 151 million working Americans essentially software counterparts to real people, in order to identify which jobs are most at risk years before layoffs hit. Now, it's called the Iceberg Index, and it uses these agents to map more than 32,000 skills across 923 occupations in 3,000 counties, revealing exposure to AI displacement in every state, not just coastal cities. The report shows that while only 2% of AI-driven wage disruption is visible in tech hubs today, there's actually a hidden layer of exposure that is 5 times larger than what we see today, cutting across industries and geographies, hence why they call it the Iceberg Index. Now, findings indicate that AI can already take over tasks tied to nearly 12% of the U.S. labor market. That's about $1.2 trillion in wages, especially in careers tied to healthcare, finance, and professional services.
Literally, healthcare and professional services are two number one most prevalent customers, like the most common customers that we get. Financial services, financial services guys, you guys are fucking behind. Like, I just bottom line, banks are not cutting it with AI, like especially the banks in Canada. Oh my god, we'd be doing a way better job in Canada financially had the banks employed some meaningful AI. But this is happening, guys. This is not, and it's not something you can put in your head in the sand and ignore. Like, this is I don't know if you guys have seen a movie called Kevin Bacon, Tremors. It's like putting your head in the sand when there are tremors swimming through the earth. Like, it's not going to work, guys.
For lawmakers preparing billion-dollar reskilling and training investments, the index offers a detailed map of where disruption is forming down to the zip code. And
wow.
It's crucially a way to run what-if scenarios before they commit real money and legislation. You've got states like Tennessee, Utah, and North Carolina, also co-authors on this new report, that are already using Iceberg to test everything from new training programs to skills-first hiring rules before they formally commit to policies and spending. Guys?
I'm amazed at this story, Mackenzie, and this money quote that you use, where they argue that we're basically creating a digital twin for the U.S. labor force.
That is a great way to put it, brother. And I am hard pressed to create a digital twin of myself just to help with training. Like, it's so, and I'm like the center of knowledge here at the agency. If someone doesn't know something, they're coming to me, which pisses me off because we live in a world of hyper powered AI assistants. I should never be asked for help. I still get asked for help. These guys are still humans. But at some point in time, people are going to be making digital twins of themselves and realizing, hey, these things are better than me.
But researchers do stress that this isn't a countdown clock to layoffs. It's more of an early warning map so that policymakers can move money and training around before the shock hits. And so the coolest component of this report is the fact that the Iceberg team has built an interactive simulation environment that allows states to actually experiment with different policy levers, from shifting workforce dollars and tweaking training programs to actually exploring how changes in tech adoption might actually affect local employment and GDP. Tennessee has been the furthest along with this. They've actually built their own AI and work dashboard that tracks occupational exposure and wage effects across the state, and that's helping currently to guide its policy and spending decisions.
Wow. It's really
well,
powerful.
Let's hope Elon Musk is right then, that we won't need money or jobs.
Because
okay, so take this in. I don't know if you guys noticed that reaction. That was a genuine reaction of fear from this woman. That was a literal, genuine reaction. And maybe we can just rewind that for 2 seconds just to see her facial expression. I'm big into nuance. It's funny because I don't have very good vision, but when I can see the slight nuances that humans give off when they're giving tells on their sentiments, it's very fascinating to me, and I want you guys to pay attention to her.
All right, well, let's hope Elon Musk is right then, that we won't need money or jobs.
Did you see that? Did you see the slight movement in her eyes and the hesitation there?
All right, well, let's hope Elon Musk is right then, that we won't need money or jobs.
Because
she's feeling it. Whatever's happening in her world, she's looking at the horizon going, holy shit, this is happening. And I think a lot of people are going to be having the same feeling she's having. Like, these two women, they look like they're good at their jobs, really powerful speakers, anchors, pretty women. they can be easily replaced with digital versions of themselves. That's where we're going, guys. And it's like I keep I'm starting to look like the crazy asshole on YouTube saying this stuff. But I hope 2, 3, 4 years from now, someone says, "Oh, this guy's been trying to tell us about AI for years," and we have 200 subscribers, so we're often ignored. But I remember when we had 2, 3 subscribers, 4 subscribers, and I was pumping out videos trying to show people how all this stuff works. No one cares. Still, no one cares. Well, people and humans only care when it's affecting them directly, and what they are living has to change. And so I got to put out videos like with MIT studies to show, hey, this is real. It's happening. We're literally building the robots that are doing a lot of this work. And then business owners see and they say, hey, this guy's actually doing it. Let's book a meeting with them. We want to see if we can do that too. So I've had to watch the journey, and the agency online, I guess, on YouTube has been primarily ignored when it comes to this conversation, but it's coming to a point where you can't really ignore this stuff anymore. So I'm just riding the wave of people learning about this stuff, and the agency gets to benefit from that.
Work is optional.
Yeah, work is going to be optional.
Like growing vegetables.
Yeah, that would pair nicely with this. Thank you, Mackenzie.
Yeah, she was definitely feeling it.
Wouldn't life be great if you didn't have to wait for that bucket list trip?
What?
Invest with Fidelity, and reaching your goals may just take less time than you think.
Okay, Fidelity, you got me. So that was, damn. Let's just take a look at this. 11.7% of the U.S. labor market. That is 1 out of every 10 people, a little bit more than 1 out of every 10 people. They're just going to be a robot. 1.2 trillion in wages. That number seems actually like out of this world. We're at trillions now. And it says concentrated in finance, healthcare, and professional services. That's just what MIT sees now. But that is going to expand. I personally just built a robot that can take orders for pizza. Take pizza orders, no problem. Chicken wings, pizza, onion rings. She can take the order in 30 seconds. She can take the order faster than it would take a human to type that stuff into Uber. Guys, if we don't pay attention to this stuff and we try and buck at it, fight it, it's like trying to buck against the internet. Really? What, are you going to live off the grid? I implore you, if you haven't gone on your AI journey yet, go to chatgpt.com right now. Trauma dump your entire life. Most certainly the ways that you make money, and explore how it can help you, because it will. It'll 100% help you. It is, I literally have probably like 3 or 4 AI terminals up right now. 2 of them are building articles, another one's like pumping out videos. Like this video, all I have to do on YouTube is come online, watch a little news piece, talk a bunch of shit, and then AI is going to break this up into little shorts, and we're going to get viewership. Those social signals are going to power our domain, and we're going to get more leads for business. Like AI is just lubricating all of our processes. So, I mean, replacing wise, we have 4 or 5. I have 4 or 5 AI agents now working. So, I mean, I'm building them quite literally all the time. But if you're not doing this sort of stuff, guys, you're going to be outcompeted by the people who are. And we are then going to get eventually to a point where the only people who are able to compete are hyper performers using AI. So the bottom line is you might as well get started on your AI journey now, because it's already happening. It's already beginning, guys. So I'm going to leave you with that. If you want to learn about what we're doing, like in terms of work, like not YouTube, fun stuff, you can go to peakdemand.ca. You can take a look at the content there. The content there is really built for large language models. You'll probably get more value out of exploring the videos for the particular builds for like restaurants and like medical facilities, stuff like that, if you're part of those worlds, manufacturing as well. But if you just want to see what it is that we're doing, just so you can get an idea, like, hey, this guy's telling us he's doing this, he's building robots that might be taking people's jobs. I want to know what's happening. go to peakman.ca, learn all about it. ChatGPT, go on your AI journey. But becoming educated on this stuff is more important than ever. These type of news pieces are coming out every day. I feel like I have infinite content to cover with this stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Agency is lapping it up. We're getting more and more responsibilities, which is great. And if you find yourself needing any assistance with AI automations or workflows, feel free to book a call with us. No problem. I'll try my best to get onto the first call with you. Just have discovery, see where you're at. But generally, all of our discovery calls lead to prototypes, and those prototypes lead to a very, very strong workflow. So, looking forward to the next one. And if you like this stuff, please like and subscribe. If you don't, hit dislike, leave some colorful comments. We're going to do a roundup of all of them at the end of the year. And that's pretty much it. Bye now.